Good afternoon, or what is a warm, bright and blustery day. It is Tuesday the 18th of April. I've got a nice hot cup of tea. In fact, and of course a box to continue unboxing. So I have already pulled out a copy of Filling in the Blanks, a guide to populating hex crawls. What we've got next, let's see. Well, we have another aid to dungeon design, or at least location design, and that is the Megadungeon Monster Manual, a classic fantasy bestiary by Greg Gillespie, and this is for the Old School Renaissance, of course. And Greg Gillespie is best known for designing mega dungeons such as Barrowdeep. So, Megadungeon Monster Manual, a classic fantasy bestiary for old school role-playing games. The Megadungeon Manual is a fantasy role-playing game supplement for Barrowmaze, the Forbidden Caverns of Archaia, HighFell the Drifting Dungeon, and Dwarrowdeep. The book brings together the most fearsome monsters from these adventures and combines them into a single volume. No tomb robber can be without it. So this is not a classic kind of monster manual in the sense that sort of like, you know, it's just put together. It's actually drawn from content that has been designed to be played, if you see what I mean. It's drawn from scenarios and campaigns, in this case mega dungeons, that the author has come up with. But its trade dress is not dissimilar. Not the same, but it's not dissimilar in look and feel, certainly on the outside, to that of books for sort of very late first edition Dungeons and Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, or second edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons in particular. It looks a little bit like the Monster Manual 2. If you look on the back, this kind of split, splitting the text with these bars, but inside we have nice illustration. Now, of course, this is for the Old School Renaissance. This is for any Old School Renaissance role-playing game. It is not strictly for any particular one. So grab this if you're looking for a book of monsters for whether you play Lamentations of the Flame Princess, Weird Fantasy Roleplay, Labyrinth Lord, or Old School Essential, of course. They're the ones that the most obviously come to mind. But we've got the list of monsters there, and a nice list of credits there, including non-TSR, ex-TSR artists, highlighted first. So Darlene, Russ Nicholson, Timothy Truman, as well as a number of OSR artists as well. So lengthy list of entries. So contents, more contents and index up front. That's a nice combination. And then we get straight into the introduction, description of breakdown of monsters and entries, and things. The Arachora, Acolyte, Arachora. That's a familiar monster. We've seen that before, but here's another version. But we've got different things to come, I'm sure. Acolyte in Purax, completely taken from one of his own dungeons. Acolyte of Orcus, again taken from the author's different dungeons. And that's the point. Amber Jelly, Amber Hulk, not an Amber Hulk, but an Amber Hulk. Looks similar, but not. So literally just going through these, each one is illustrated. We have an axe beak there, and then specifically, so there we have a Barrow Ghoul, Barrow Guardian, Greater. So it's all going to be a bit like that. Barrow Harpy, Barrow Mimic, Barrow Mummy, Barrow White. No, not Barrow White, Barrow White. Yes, you knew I was going to make that joke, didn't you? And then we've got a Bahia. So nice illustration of it there, and that's really fantastic illustration there. That's really fantastic. The creature just guzzling down, gulping down a poor unfortunate adventure. That's a really nice illustration. So yeah, and the trade just on the inside is, it's just presented A to Z. No real page breaks between the letters. That's no problem. a Brobdingnagian fungi. And just go literally through the monsters. You know, there are lots of here that are sort of familiar. You know, his take upon the bullywug and the bugbear. And we have a strange creature like clockwork cobra. And I think, you know, things like the cinnamon mould. You know, we have a clockwork sturge. Coffer corpse, but it's actually a clockwork sturge, clockwork cobra, a kobold, not a kobold, but a kobold. You know, there's an inventiveness here that sort of like means this is not just another ordinary collection of monsters. There's a bit more to it. You know, so you know you have the familiar, you have the bugbear, you have the kobold, and other monsters, similar creatures that you know that you've had in Dungeons and Dragons and its iterations and its retro clones over the years, but you've got different variations upon them that look inventive. So let's say clockwork cobra, clockwork centipede, clockwork sturge. Completely, what's that? That's an interesting. You know, what can I do with that? And then the kobold is a nice sort of twisting of it, of the name, playing on the name. And then, you know, so we've got Death Knight on the Darrow, and but they've got a really nice illustration of a Death Knight. So yeah, what else we've got? Dracolisk, Durgar. So lots and lots of different things, and then we've got different types of elementals. So you don't have to get all. I mean, what this book means is you don't have to get all of the dungeons to get all of the monsters. You can just buy the one book. The classic flail snail. You know, almost the flail snail is sort of like that creature that is has become almost the mascot for the old school Renaissance, because it's such a weird creature. Oops. Just put that back up there. It's the wind for you. So, you know, lots of different creatures. We have surprisingly, we have a giant ant, again accompanied by a larger illustration. And so the illustrations in here are excellent. So lots of different giant creatures. You know, giant leech, giant mosquito, giant giant scorpion, then huge scorpion, then giant slicer beetle. So giant, huge, giant. Goblins and gnolls. Hobgoblin, again accompanied with a nice illustration. And then we have the Kawas Toa, so the Kua Toa there. And that's quite a lengthy interest, lengthy insert there. There we have the kobold. So on. More, lots and lots of creatures, just as many as you want. And that's the thing, you're always kind of, if you're running D&D a length of time, you're always on the lookout for new and interesting monsters. You know, and so, you know, you've got a Nagatai there, and then a Neb Enket, a mummified cat, a necromancer set in the corner. Show that there. Or a Norka. Yeah. So these are coming from all over the place. These are coming from you know, Monster Manual, Monster Manual 2, Fiend Folio. You know, there's a good mix of creatures and sources. The Penangalan. Just lots and lots of things here. You know, just a fantastic range of monsters. That, you know, you can bring to your game. Just just flipping through them, just seeing what catches my eye, as it were. So there's the Skeletal Naga, Skeletal Warrior. And then we don't have a roper, but we've got a store roper. And then a sort of a pterodactyl. We have an actual pterodactyl. And then the actual entry there, you've got it in illustrated as well. So yeah, fantastic. We even have a shaggy unicorn. And then back we've got treasure type tables, and then another shot of adventurers just taking their loot out of the dungeon. You know, they've completed their mission, they've got the loot, they've got the chest, and they're on the way, having finished their mission. So yes, this is the Megadungeon Monster Manual by Greg Gillespie. It's a lovely book. The monsters in there look fantastic. All the illustrations are really great in there. I really like those. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings, look where you see me out here, well, with a box containing some books or games which I will unbox and then chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so. All, of course, accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do hit the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing of the Nook. Be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.